You are the earth that I breathe, ancient mother. I hear you calling, ancient mother. Oh, mama, mama. Good morning, good evening. Thank you for joining, bringing in everyone's energies, feeling the shifts. Thank you. Welcome those of you, let me turn the volume up, those of you that have been feeling the energies of this incredible, this is a global humanity collective. So what you're receiving here today is highest vibration on the planet, linking spirit to soul through our human physical embodiment, coming from a space of 9D. We're clearing energies of impatience and rushing. Breathe and slow down. We're coming from and creating a new platform of energies. The excitement is palpable here today. Thank you for joining. Let's just take a moment for everyone to come in and just settle your energies. So again, thank you for joining. These energies are beyond words. They're multidimensional. They're coming from a shade away from source and spirit, extremely high up. So a lot of the words today you may not understand. You don't need to understand all the words. You showing up physically in your human embodiment is enough, because what needs to be filled in, because what's lacking or what's missing, nothing's missing, everything's in perfect alignment, is souls showing up, slowing down, feeling and embodying. Okay, all the words have been said. This is an ancient ascension, rebellion, higher heart, solar plexus activation from 24 hours ago, roughly. A live divine pre-healing for today was done. We lifted off a black cube energy and stepped into a golden beam of light. So thank you for the soul that said they saw the black cube and they removed it. And I just want to share with you that the black cube that needed to be removed was from a one-on-one with a soul that works behind the scenes very much for humanity, as so many of you we do, that is not seen. We don't go and do clips and videos every time we do an act of service with the divine. No, it's not about that. We're not into the lower vibrational needing to boost our ego by doing that. This is raw, real, speaking up, voicing, learning to voice newly. Okay, big shift of energy is already coming. So I want to say to you that anyone that watched that video and saw a black cube in the energy space, the message for you is double increase your protection. For everybody, the message is double increase your protection. Now is not the time to start asking questions. Today is the time to allow yourself to uptake freely, being gifted from the divine. I choose to come here to voice, table and share after 28 years internally inner alchemy, ahead of time, sharing updates from years ago that are relevant for now. So that's enough proof, okay? So you will feel what you need to from today to uptake what you need. This is about you helping you. Beautiful. So the energy is very cleared very quickly, which is wonderful. Again, this is a big sign to increase your protection, and the message is to double your protection. Remember, allow yourself to feel, to resonate, even if you do not understand the words. You don't need to. You need to show up, feel, and you will pick up what it is. Whew, pretty powerful energies are in at the moment. Basically, you'll either feel this or not, and I'm not hand-feeding humanity and souls anymore. This is so, so big currently at the moment with the timeline split off, that many people are writing a lot of things without prior experience and full knowledge of the full bigger picture. And this is in a positive way I say this. It's about discerning what you read and uptake. This is a new frontier, and there's lesser of numbers, as the most powerful human souls will see this video and be part of this for all of humanity as guided. We are on a precipice of a new frontier energetically, and in me voicing and reading the following, live divine words and energies will clear what we are not conscious of, that is buried so deep and so high that you being here alone is enough to uptake, Masters. So thank you. It has been a while, Ella. Consciously uptake. This is from a space of 9D. What is ninth dimensional? This is from an Ascension Pioneer Trailblazer, and for me, I've been in 5D for nearly 20 years ahead of time, and ninth dimensional energies is the highest vibration one can reach in the human physical body. I'm keeping it very simple. Please realize that this is a major gifting, and there's so many divine healings offered and gifted that souls are not seeing them. A lot is people not slowing down to read, feel and uptake, and that's okay. However, I need to come from my grandmaster energies of being ahead of time for so long. This is the final result, what I'm speaking of, and it's a process and a journey of souls, yet I need to present the final human embodiment for you to grow into, for whatever that is for yourself. So again, if you don't need to understand all the words, what I'm about to bring through, as I read, I'm going to read from Energy Synthesis, and it's the feeling and how you resonate somewhere is enough. This is beyond words. As 5D onwards is via visions. It's about being in unconditional love. So many people write about what 5D is. It's not in a box. It's not logical. You can't come from a 3D space and tick off the box. I'm doing this, I'm this, so I'm in 5D. Am I in 5D? Where is 5D? 5D is an energy destination that you reach, slowing down, coming from unconditional love, starting with yourself. I need to table that. I need to say that to shift, because 5D onwards is via visions with messages, signs. You need to keep the channel and vessel clear to receive and get out of your head and logic and trying to figure things out. Many of you realizing that will not work. Now, there's a timeline split off and a shift, and many are sharing and not fully understanding they need to come from unconditional love and start with self. And how do we start? By listening to what you're whispering to yourself, as you are not only clearing your energy, yet your ancestors. And this is from the beginning of time energies. The momentum's starting to pick up. Talk gently to yourself and do not criticize. If you do, be conscious and slowly shift this, as you can do it, as I'm doing much newly behind the scenes. Give me a moment. It's just showed me that my video's clicked off and I'm still live, which is fantastic. Okay. Whew. We are just beginning. Just take a moment. We are just beginning. And to those who've been on this conscious journey for some time, slowly learning how to master and grow into our human embodiment is a masterful act, or many acts, to grow into self-loving deeply within. Linked with that is being conscious. Why am I repeating these things over and over and over and over and over? Because we're newly beginning. I have been working with souls behind the scenes for a very long time, souls in, you could call, very high up places, souls from all walks of life, souls that have been hiding behind masks of coping, yet we've come to the point where that bullshit won't cut it anymore. And that's why we're coming back to basics today with a clear slate of energies, which will be there will be a further divine life-changing opportunity in the 144 gathering number 7 of the 9th of July. Registration is required. It is a life-changing hour. That is from you letting me know. I hold these as guided. So if you want to go further from today, there will be further notification about that. Yes, I do one-on-one divine healings. These are questions I'm asked often. Please email theoraclespeaks@bigpond.com for further guidance on that. And before I share about the timeline ascension rebellion from Atlantean times, I want to share about how many souls are focusing outwards. And a prime example, and I'm going to use this as an example, and I will exaggerate and I will take things off fact for an example. The Schumann's resonance recently. People have said to me and have shared with me, did you see the Schumann's resonance? Did you see this? We've got this happening. We've got that happening. I will say that the Lion's Gate every year is significant, as is Ishtar, Easter, and all the retrogrades and moon cycles as a guide for what you are going through internally. Please do not look outside of yourself for the Schumann's resonance. Apparently, and go with me on this, I don't want to go with facts, but we're going to use this as an example. It could have been a glitch. It could have been coming from somewhere else that tripped off the meter for it to go crazy, okay? What happened? Every person, let me shift that. Many souls saw that, added their own interpretation. The wiser ones wrote, I don't know what this means, but this is my interpretation, which was clever to do that. Be careful, because it came up somewhere that it was a glitch, it was picking up something else, and all I saw was people's reactions. Oh, did you see the Schumann's? And this is happening, the angels are talking, and it was so blown out of proportion of kumbaya, fuzzy, light and fluffy energies. Masters, it is a tool to observe. It is a notification, but you in here is the resonance. Do not look outside of yourself. You do whatever you like. It's my words. Don't look outside of yourself. It's about in here. So if you were one that shared that and wrote an interpretation, it's good for you, if that's what you were guided to do, fantastic. I am saying that I saw so many that are newly ascending, that are not realizing, exaggerate and add their interpretation. Be very careful. Now the pitch is shifting, the masculine and feminine is starting to shift and rise. Be very careful. Thank you, EJ. Thank you for voicing this. I'd not felt for myself what some were talking about, and you questioned and doubted yourself. Thank you for sharing that. It's time to no longer doubt yourself. You've been on this path and journey for so long, and it comes from trauma and not being supported when we were children. That we doubt and we question, and of course for many other reasons. So take a giant double step back. It is time for action in embodying and feeling all the lovely, yummy energies that people love feeling in spirit, the astrals, okay? because the resonance may show us that Gaia is going through a defragmentation and the largest to date, a collective pendulum of extremes. These are what I've been sharing about newly and firstly, of revelations of what no longer can be hidden or suppressed. Now, I wrote all about this ahead of time, months and years ago. That's why it feels so good to be able to come to you and bring through pure, supreme, divine, white light of source truth for you to resonate to. I've seen so many of these events over many years of inner alchemy, and yes, we've been waiting so long for these times, as the message recently was, what you are going through now is much better than any other alternative. Slow down, feel and take this in, what you are feeling and going through now and what you're releasing. Let me bring that in for myself. I've really been working very strongly with family energies, and a lot of Blu-rays have been as transmuters instantly, because I also will be doing a part 2 today about empaths being conscious and not conscious, and whether we do that today or another video, we will see. However this is, I'm taking time in this space, and you will watch whatever you want. If you don't want to watch this, it's too long, move on. You're missing a lot. You're not missing anything. You're doing what you're meant to do. If you slow down and feel an uptake, you've got nowhere else more important than right in this moment, from a Grandmaster, Ascension Pioneer, Forerunner, with Australia and the world. And I need to table that for you to uptake. It's not for me. These messages and words to energies that come from the divine, for people to understand the strength. This isn't up on a stage at conferences with massive people with big advertising. No, I didn't create a fuss over this one. Why? Because this is where the real deal is. This is where raw and real and live and embodying and living the energies in Christ's consciousness is at. All the rest, let it all go. You do whatever you like. You do whatever you like. This is just how I speak. We are newly beginning, and something needs to change and alter. What the focus needs to be now on is to feel and embody. One grows past the oohs and ahs of the greater goings on, as one's consciousness is what is most important, yet many are to learn this consciously, newly. Even you, including you. It is bravery to feel and embody, and if you are, and something keeps coming to your attention, then dig deeper to release. It's time to feel and embody one's knowing. I've read so many updates and posts about the brain, coming from the brain, the thinking, the logic, the head, and it's about the time of knowing. Past that, it's about feeling and embodying, knowing and experiencing are worlds apart. It's about the experiencing. All the knowing in the world on this planet is no longer enough, yet the knowing is a prerequisite when you're ascending into your fifth dimensional energies from 3D and 4D. Many, many are still operating and functioning from 3D head and learning how to release this. It is a very big process and transition. This is a very big transition year of inner alchemy, and now major ascension timeline rebellion, of inner rebellion from ancient times is also happening. Thank you for going through all you have, as you are another me and I am another you. So let's just take a moment. Daniel shared gratitude for this divine space to slow down, to feel uptaken and embody. Thank you for honouring the space. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Johnny, Robin. And all you beautiful souls, and many of you telling me I've been reading the updates for years. Some of you coming up to 10 years, 8 years. Bless. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm still here as well, yet in a new way. 2024 is going to be massive. I keep getting it's going to be a huge year. I'll say it for me as a trailblazer, and you take what you need from that, okay? Remember, if I'm saying it firstly by feeling and embodying, it means something big is going to happen, okay? Now, Lisa Renee's writings from Energy Synthesis are so deep and high, and from time to time I'm guided to take a small section, voice, read, and bring through from ninth dimensional that energy from spirit, soul, human embodiment consciously. When we voice, table, and share, it makes it real. We listen, we hear, we can feel an uptake. We need to bounce off others and ourselves in writing to voice, table, share is a very big prerequisite to move further. And I keep sharing this message over and over with souls individually. And I've written about this before as well. It's wonderful to be able to bring through this new voicing. So someone wrote recently about the Lisa Renee article I'm going to read from, and they said I could only go so far into Lisa's writings, as what she writes is way too deep and beyond for what I need for my journey, what I'm going through. And it'll be great to see what you make of it. I don't really know the full extent, but what I do know is after this whole last bout of energies and with everything else that's passed, I was already feeling this sense of rebellion within me. And then as I read into that writing, it only served to stir it even more within me, where I could feel very strongly in my heart to where it energetically picked up the pace. That's all I could go into it. For me, the rebellion is internal. Internal. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate your feedback. They continue to write, for them the rebellion is internal towards a whole human experiment and all that was allowed to be propagated against humanity and souls that embodied them. And now, in some extent and regard, it's also an internal rebellion against the process and its intensity, and for what those that are truly putting in the work and pull their weight and beyond are receiving. After everything that's been released and transmuted and upgraded and what have you, we have yet to truly feel and experience a real, palpable, lasting, positive shift in this human embodiment / reality / life. And I want to say, don't give up just before the miracle, as we're each at the moment needing to reach an end point. And today's freely gifted live divine healing is providing you an opportunity to help you to help yourself with this, dear soul. This is about inner alchemy and magic. And what was my motto for this year? Inner alchemy and magic. And it does start with self-love. I also want to share with you, I watched a video, the first video I saw recently, and I just want to share, when we're willing to change our thinking, we can change our experiences. 5Ds living unconditional love, truth and honesty through every fibre of your being, realizing your inner alchemy connection with yourself is the Christ energy you have been searching for. It is not outside of you. I am going to say something here very gently and very carefully, and it is a truth that I've seen with others. Many souls on their spiritual journeys through trauma are turning to religion. I'm being very cautious and very careful. And that's all I'm guided to say. No one outside of you It all comes from within. Now, souls have said to me, life is not what I imagine and what it would be. Well, that is a healing process when we voice and table and face reality consciously. I did that for myself recently, reflecting back. And remember, I've been going 28 years, so we keep going. We just keep going higher and higher and coming from a higher, new platform at the moment. Everything we do with energy, we are accountable for. Your voice, you ready, is your final protection. Increasing protection with what you did before, you may find will not suffice. The message is, again, what you're going through now is better than any other alternative. Also, increase, up, double protect. I'm unable to fully explain the why that will answer anyone that's coming from a 3D brain when I'm talking at the moment, because these are multi-dimensional energies. And I will just say your voice is your final protection. Again, unconditional love, starting with self-love, is not criticizing yourself or others. What is that little voice that you're whispering to yourself? And now we're dealing with the imprints from our families when we were growing up that will be going on in the background that you may not have noticed. So if you slow down and feel and tune in a bit more, you can start to change it, okay? When we're willing to change our thinking, we can change our experiences, starting by feeling. So currently, let's have another little shift. I hear you calling, ancient mother. So, Anastacia Blue Beyond Guide is currently working personally with ancient Atlantean energies from thousands of years ago, from the time of Ascension, timeline, rebellion. I'm just feeling into, when I come in live, it really is live, as in I need to take a moment to feel in this now moment what it is that Spirit is bringing through. And this shows how much we need to slow down, take a moment, play some music, hum a tune, and allow yourself to be receptive to uptake. Now, you may think that this is basic and you already know this. If you knew this and this was so basic and simple, why isn't everyone doing this? Okay? This is about you, not everybody else. Take the focus off everybody else. This is about you. Let humanity go. We have been given the message over and over. So many are wanting to rescue and help. Over and over. And even those souls that I've spoken to personally about this, when we've done further working through their energies, and this is no judgment whatsoever when I say this, is they are still learning how to shift from the mind and the head and the logic to feeling. This is the reality of where we're really at. Do you know what's happened? We've jumped too far ahead of ourselves. So many put the cart before the horse. So many were writing for years and years, and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Slow the fuck down. Slow it down. Wait for the other shoe to drop is what I say. You've got it in spirit. Allow yourself to embody and feel. It can take 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years before the other shoe can drop from the information that comes in newly. This is newly sped up. Good morning, Carol. Welcome. This is newly sped up, and no more predictions. Forget about it. How can we predict when we're newly creating? So many people still wanting to know what's going to happen. Where am I going to end up? Please let that go. Slow down, and you create and choose from this very moment. And humanity has put so many carts before so many horses. And all that has just fallen away, and have a look at the devastation and the despair of the reality. And what is happening in this new reality, because I'm not able to go into the Ascension Timeline reading with Lisa Renee, I need to, because I will finish with that, I need to bring up about conscious empaths to not conscious empaths. This is major. This has caused a split, a timeline split and division between souls that are so loving and close. This is leading to a newly arising area. And I'm going to start again. Now, I'm 58 soon, and 28 years of inner ascension, firstly trailblazing by myself to write what people are ready for now, has not been easy. Yet this is the fun bits now, because that's done, and I'm here to table talk and share with you what wasn't there for me. That's why I love doing this. My passion for humanity and the collective as a Trailblazer-Ascension Pioneer is my life. And the alternative to this was to completely pull away, because it becomes too much after a while to operate in the old way. I'm so blessed. I was born in 1965, the crossover of boomers to Generation X. I was brought up Greek at home, English outside. I was raised half by my auntie, half by my mother. I've lived in two worlds all my life, and next year we'll be starting a book, Walker of Two Worlds, 3D to 5D and beyond, because to walk in two worlds is an art. It's a mastering. So we are a new space of empaths and mirrors, and some do not like their own reflection. Now stay with me here, because what has happened is wounded unconscious empaths are using these words to throw at others and not be accountable and realize how much trauma has come up for them. Because people can be narcissistic, in pain, going through their pain and trauma and reflecting back onto others and saying they're their mirror. And it's a very tricky situation at the moment. So conscious empaths and unconscious empaths is very real, and there is a massive wake up and shake up of who is being honest with themselves consciously, who has faced and are working with their shadow energies consciously. Because currently, at the time of writing, our brain is going through a rewiring. Our equilibrium is going through a rebalancing, which will take a while. What you have already worked through deep within, Masters, is being purged out through all layers and levels, remembering the last place a shift is felt on the physical, and dis-ease also commences from the physical. Do you understand how the physical is the starting point and also an ending point in bringing in our higher self spirit energies through feeling to embody? This is creating New Earth, not the kumbaya, all the astrals. Have a look at the Schumans. Look what the Schumans are doing. How about you look inside? You can do whatever you like. Okay? How does that feel? Yes, yes, yes. Someone's writing yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Remember, as you comment is a further divine healing for you. It's an opportunity. And the reason I've gone behind the scenes more with the email updates, with the one-on-ones, with the monthly 144 gatherings, we're up to number 7, with the Grand Master class every 3 months, for it can accommodate 6 to 10 souls, because it's time for souls to step forward to seek, to be a seeker. This is for those with the empaths, the conscious and unconscious, who can relate with others who they are trying to communicate with, yet are coming from their own mirror and are projecting, accusing you, or they can be accusing others of doing so. What an interesting time energetically, as this is the real time real lifetime of the wheat separating from the chaff energies. This is the moment. Wrote about this years ago. This is now physically happening. We are now in the human physical times of revelations. We are creating newly, consciously. Not all are on board. This is about you focusing on your inner light to then shine through. Okay, big shift happening right now. I'm going to read a little bit more about conscious and unconscious empaths, because we're clearing out older energies and we need to get a little uncomfortable to shift the old. Okay? This is big, much bigger than these words alone, especially for empaths, and especially Hyoka empaths even more. It's time to apply the knowing into the feeling and experiencing the human by voicing, tabling, and speaking up and out. For you, this is all about you. So I want to share with you, and I give credit to the authors of what I'm about to read out to you. One of them is Camilla Cordero, one of them is Cotton Bro, one of them is Priscilla Dupree's. Mirror effect of an empath. It is common for people to act inauthentically. This is about reflecting back. They hide who they are because they don't like aspects of their personality. An empath has this ability to reflect this back. There are people who hide aspects of their personality to manipulate others, but the majority who act inauthentically do so to fit in. The fear of being judged or disliked or ridiculed for something they don't like about themselves makes some wear a mask of inauthenticity. Even those of a sensitive nature put on a face when out in the world. There are some, however, who never remove their mask, going through life with a false identity. I'm just talking and sharing. A lot of us know this, okay? Let me keep going. Now, when one comes face to face with an empath, there is no hiding from these concealed traits. The mask comes off. The traits they've worked hard to hide or deny are now waved in their faces. This often causes ill feelings to be directed towards the empath, because being around an empath can bring up anything buried. It may cause a strong loathing to develop in others. Are you relating to this? However, those who experience this loathing don't realize is the intense dislike they have towards the empath is simply a reflection of their shadow side. Anything hidden becomes seen within the mirror of the empath. This has so exponentially increased for empaths, we're needing to take more steps back. Now, vibrating in a higher space, masters, can repel even those you love. People sense to change whether it is visually apparent or not, and they feel when another has changed or stepped up their frequency. And not everyone is ready to raise their vibration. So the more you step up, what can happen? Those close, you will mirror back on a high vibration more just by being you of what their shadow side is, of what they haven't seen for themselves. This is about no judgment. This is about pure, unconditional love. For understanding, we need to let those souls go that we find ourselves in these situations, because some still have lessons to learn at their level and they are not ready to move forward. And because they're not ready, they may try to draw you back down. And how they can draw you back down is coming from the 3D mentality and the arguing that may spark up your fighting, rebellious energy of don't fucking tell me what to do, and then you'll be picking up on their rebellious energy and clash. And if you don't feel like a fit to others anymore, it may cause hostility towards you. And another reason they rebel, this has happened to me personally. It was extremely, it still is extremely channeling. Part of me clearing this with someone I've known for a very long time is to clear these energies coming from a higher space of feeling the knowing and the experiencing of the bigger picture of what is happening, that I am mirroring as you mirror for others their shadow sides. When you own your shadow sides and you own your isms and your bits, warts and all, it makes you very empowering within yourself. When someone is forced to face themselves before they're ready, they'll usually lash out. That did occur to me as well. You may want to guide or let this other person know. You could cop a lash out. They'll blame their problems and emotions on anyone but themselves because they refuse to take accountability. Listen, I say this with love and gentleness because a lot of souls, including myself, we've been, and the older you are, we've lived different. I've lived in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s energies. Now, the older we get, we've got more baggage to clear. So that's why it takes like 20 years to do a spiritual apprenticeship to earn through human life experience. And they'll blame their problems, emotions on anyone but themselves because they refuse to take accountability. They'll blame the empath for acting as their mirror and tell them that they're falsely righteous. Yes, that was said to me as well, in a gentle way. They'll want to prove the empath wrong by pointing out their flaws. Instead, it's unfortunate, but this is, you ready? The first step to their path to acceptance. Okay? Don't buy into the lower vibrational arguing. Take a moment of breath and step back when you find yourself reacting. I'm needing to take 2 steps back. Breathe, shift, release. This is not mine. This is not my creation. Say those words and see what dissipates. It's common for people to act authentically. We tend to hide our true selves behind screens. We mask our faces with fake smiles just to get by. Me, all my life, absolutely. Absolutely it was. It's the cover, the mask, to fucking cope with my trauma and everything that I went through. Same as you, like there's no coming down hard on anyone for, gosh, we've needed to, but what it is, masters, and I'll say to you, it's been a while since I've shared this, is see in front of you like a stand with a mask and another mask and another mask. You're happy, you're sad, your protection. All these masks are all lined up in front of you. What you can do is consciously choose. I've got an appointment with a solicitor today. I'm going to put my business mask on, and that's your protection. Okay, you choose to put another mask on. If you choose to do it consciously, that's where your power lays. So most of us don't take the time to reflect to find our true selves, but simply go with the motions. We're living, but we don't feel alive. For that reason, when an empath reflects this back to people, it unintentionally forces them to face the reality of their personality, choices, and lifestyle, which is much harder than avoiding it. So let's go back to, there are 2 types of empaths. Unconscious ones who have yet to master their capability and keep it under control. An unconscious empath becomes like a sponge, soaking up the emotions of everyone around them until they burn out and run out of energy themselves. They are often anxious and overwhelmed. Pick me. Most of my life, even still inside, the body has been through so much stress and trauma. We need to really self-care and nurture. Then there are conscious empaths who understand that they can choose which energies to allow into their field. And this is a tricky bit. The mirror of a conscious empath is much more focused and coherent. Their aura is much calmer. When a person mistreats them, it's usually because they've reflected back their deepest unaddressed wounds. This is really powerful, what I just shared. It's very big about the unconscious empaths to conscious empaths. Oh, bless. You did 2 of those things I spoke of yesterday. Well done, Jane. Hi, Angela. You're welcome. Hi, Natalie. This is not mine. These are not my creations. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. We're grateful for all of your sharing. Bless. Thank you. Much beauty in the sharing. Thank you, deeply resonating. Thank you for joining and adding your energies as well. I'm not doing it myself. I am. We've got to do it ourselves, 100% with your direct link with spirit, but then we need unity as community, and that's what we're doing here today. Thank you for contributing. Thank you, and I really, really sincerely thank you for going through everything you have. I see you. The divine sees you. You're not being missed or left behind and left out. It's about your faith and trust. Where is your faith and trust? Okay? We're not here to compete. We're not here to get into egotistical debates with 3D energies. As soon as you feel confused about something, stop instantly. As soon as I feel confused, the energies are not clear, no, and I stop and I move away from it. So these are little tips. Okay, I'm getting a wind up here because we're choosing and creating a new future. Okay, it's more than the words. It's more than the words. So we are going to look at, and before I read this, when I get in the zone and I read and I embody and I voice and table, guided by the divine live, I'm in a zone, and it's taken me, 3.5 years to learn about my energies and videos my way. I looked at others, and this is for you as well. We can look at others to bounce off to get our own answers. I did it for years, looking at other masters and how they presented, did things, and then I applied what was okay for me, and it was nothing like anyone else's. So this is where 10 minutes before we finish, I say goodbye. Thank you for joining, and I say my goodbyes now, because when I'm in the zone to read what I'm going to read, I will say, okay, got to go, see you, bye, all the best, have a good day, and then I will continue to embody and work with the energies for the rest, for hours and hours, as it takes hours beforehand as well. So again, I sincerely want to thank you. Grateful for many golden keys gifted today. Bless. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Kieran, Rhonda, Matthew, Diodzi. It's good to see you here, Ella. You've been contributing for a very long time as well. Okay, so experience the projection and mirroring back just recently. Chose to let this dear soul go. Bless. Okay, so give me a moment so I can find my bearings. Consciousness, anyone, conscious or not conscious, is now heightened with empaths. So much servicing and being revealed. Revelation time, shadow sides have risen that one can no longer hide. Please shift your focus on the outside world of are we there yet, of where are we there yet loop that goes in the head. How long are we going to do this? When are we going to get the rewards? When are we going to cop a break? All of that needs to go. All of that needs to be released out of your system, out of your body, out of your energy field. Get it out of your system and let the fuck go. Let go of all of that. Humanity will do whatever they are going to do. You are leading and guiding through everything that you're embodying and feeling. Sit back and watch it play out and just keep pulling back and trusting. It is the conscious empaths who are coming from a loving space of trust and are being blamed for what another is not wanting to be revealed or faced, as a mirror for others' emotions and energies of the unseen with others who are unconscious of what they are hiding deep within. This is about hidden behaviors and emotions that are projected back onto their rightful owner. The longer the hidden anger or insecurity is left, the more that energy builds. We are coming into a very new era of unconscious empaths and conscious empaths. hearts who once were close and now no longer able to hold space together in a way they did in the past. This is beyond these words alone as to how big this is for our collective consciousness, as many profess, write and claim so much, yet we need to own and embody what we share and speak of, as we are in the biggest, massive, collective pendulum swing happening right now. How many of you are seeing people go full bipolar? Especially the bipolar energies are out. Step up your boundaries. You are allowed to say, no, it's not okay to speak to me or treat me this way. Okay? We are in unprecedented times energetically, yet here we are as New Earth pioneers, some consciously, yet most are learning how to consciously better. And I send love and strength to those brave souls as we're here to help each other in love and compassion and strength and support as we see our brothers and sisters who have reached the top of their new mountain that they may be still approaching in regards to we're having to leave other souls on their journeys and their base camps on their mountains until all lessons are completed and a soul is ready to shift to a new base camp. I can tell you, after so many years, I can see so many people have shifted to all different base camps of what they are newly learning to needing to learn. Okay, big shift. Gathering up everyone's energy here. We're gathering up a collective energy right now and lifting a big bubble of energy up and out of our energy field. We are living through a great transition and ascension process from a dark eon to a new eon. Many of the themes that were seeded by dark forces tens of thousands of years ago of human subjugation and enslavement are being reasserted in an attempt to maintain control. Yet most of humanity is unable to connect the dots or consciously participate in collapsing this timeline as we move toward a collective awakening. And this is the branching off. With the return of solar dragon level consciousness, our ground crew is strengthened and in collaboration with Guardian Host. A tipping point has been reached, and through a recent sequence of grid work projects, more detail is being uncovered about humanity's true history, design, and purpose, as well as those who have tried to harness, desecrate, and enslave the various tribes within the angelic human race. The original Emerald Founder records for the Celtic Arthurian Grail lines, the timeline wards, clearings and spiritual body retrievals have been focused upon the cluster of timeline trigger events that were set into motion during the Ascension Timeline Rebellion approximately 22,000 years ago. As humanity is completing the timeline trigger events of the Ascension Timeline Rebellion, which has manifested as the consciousness enslavement. Let me pause. I keep sharing. It is all about consciousness. You can come from unconditional love. That is another requisite. You can come from so many spaces unless you are conscious. How can you bring that to the light for embodiment? Which manifested as humanity, we are completing the timeline trigger events of the Ascension Timeline Rebellion, which manifested as the conscious enslavement of human beings by those intruders that invaded our planet. Stay in this moment. Don't go any further than what I'm saying. Just stay with this, please. The shackles of mental bondage connected to mind-controlled transmissions suppressing the Atlantean records are beginning to dissolve. Did you get that? I've been sharing so strongly and so passionately. Get out of the head. Get out of the logic. Shift I think to I feel. Verbally shift and notice when you say I think. When you go I think, be very fucking careful, because this is what we're talking about. When we come from the mind and the brain and the logic, we can create, can create, again, let's just go with this, it can create an opening for those negative agenda energies to filter in the mind. I know so many spiritual people, their mind has been infiltrated by the negative agenda energies that you can't talk to those souls. I will just say to you and gently encourage, get out of the thinking of ascension, get out of the mind and the brain with energies. When you read, think, when you read the brain, it needs to be feel, consciousness. So the shackles of mental bondage connected to mind-controlled transmissions are beginning to dissolve. That's official. It's here. This is from Lisa Renee Energy Synthesis. I'm reading this and I'm bringing through my energy as guided from the divine as truth, divine truth. I back myself up every time. Awakening humans are, that's you, at the crossroads in the organic ascension timeline in which they are facing the next stage of the consciousness evolution cycle that includes a newly discovered personal freedom to information they did not have access to before. I want to add here, what many souls are feeling inside is the inner rebellion energies within themselves of what they're seeing outside, and they're rebelling, okay? Thus, the current dark night of the soul themes for the collective consciousness are about awakening to the reality of having been enslaved in a consciousness suppression system throughout the many years of mind control broadcasts of mental bondage and fear-based materialistic thought forms that are relentlessly propagated in the controllers' manufactured death, culture, and slavery system. Stay with me in this moment. Many of us have been aware of this for a very long time. So it's not a competition waiting for the others to wake up. There's no waiting for others. You are the consciousness that's breaking through. You know, you are aware of it. The hidden history of non-human entity invasion of the planet during the Ascension Timeline Rebellion that caused the Atlantean cataclysm and global human slavery begins to sprout seeds that opens up into the minds of the masses as the cellular memories of an advanced human civilization and contact with other galactic faring species start to be seen or experienced in ways that can no longer be ignored. More of the collective fears dissolve, the inner desire to consciously participate with extracting ourselves away from the master-slave narratives, pull back, manufactured and run by the death culture, is expanding so that choosing love and unity with life in this moment, choose love and unity with life and desiring to live in greater harmony with the natural world and others starts to become a much more important value system. These inner realizations suddenly give us an interest in exploring more deeply the causal events behind what is happening in our world today. Let me take a moment here. when we shift our mental attitudes to make room for prioritizing humanitarian value systems, knowing we are all in this conscious transition together, we get an effortless boost forward in manifesting our divine purpose as the universal keys to personally experience true mental, emotional, and spiritual freedom are being graciously gifted to us. Let me just read. This goes very deep. I will skim over and see what Spirit's asking me. How are you feeling? How are you going uptaking this, everyone? Yes, yes, great. The disastrous hidden histories of the Ascension Timeline Rebellion recorded in the planetary matrix from this time period contain the causal seed event of the Great Thothian Betrayal and subsequent stages of NEW invasion, when angelic humanity and Earth's resources first became transactional commodities to be used by intruder groups in their well-established galactic slave trading and bartering system. Yet, because this tragic event began 22,000 years ago and reached its pinnacle during the Atlantean cataclysm, many humans are totally unaware that we are considered tradable commodities both on and off planet. We have been repeatedly, stay in the moment, stay in your body, mind wiped, brainwashed, ritually abused to forget who we are from the many cataclysmic resets, DNA unplugging, and erroneously absurd historical accounts given to explain away our advanced angelic human culture that existed before we became slaves after the Ice Age floods. Thus, the Ascension Timeline Rebellion is a significant marker in the hidden historical timelines of planetary invasion. I'm just reading through, that's enough. I need to slow this down now. I don't want to go into all of that. That is a whole other area. That's not what we're about today. But this is to remind you, this is old. So don't look out there for signs of change. It's in here that you're looking for your signs of change. You are the light. You are the beacon. Stop looking outside of yourself, dear soul. You do need to be reminded. Trust me. I speak to many of you in one-on-ones, and while many of you in my private group and in other areas write, I know what a lot of you are going through behind the scenes. You do need to uptake this. You do need to listen to this. You can do whatever you like. You don't need to listen to me. Don't tell me what to do. So, through the management of human DNA and hybridization, breeding programs, along with the intentional destruction of actual historical records, the NEW inserted false holographic timelines and false holographic identities for divide and conquer to hijack the collective co-creative consciousness for controlling the timelines to ultimately thwart planetary ascension. This is why this period 22,000 years ago is called the Ascension Timeline Rebellion. There is a lot more to read here, and I'm just going to wind up and say our consciousness is everything to get out of the mind, to not allow the control to come through. EJ wrote, wow, having some big shifts in the throat, third eye, and crown energy centers right now. You will be releasing any infiltration that comes through on a higher level that you were not aware of with that comment. Don't underestimate how super powerful this and over 200 live divine healing ascension videos have been freely gifted to humanity. It's all here when and if you're ready, if you slow down and allow yourself to receive. When we pray and ask and hand over, do we allow time in stepping back and for spirit to give? Are you balancing enough your work and pleasure time? I need to start walking again, and so much has happened backed up. I'm so full. I'm just about to pack and go away for 3 days after this video to have that space and time to allow myself to let the energies come in and anchor. For me to uptake, you need to create more alone time and space. And somehow my getting out in nature and walking went by the wayside, and recently I'm like so absorbed with so many energies, it's like, oh, I need to bring that balance back in. That's just how it works in real ascension. Okay, don't be fooled by people that look like they got all their shit together and they're always in that great space. That, honestly, that's not reality. Okay, when we're more conscious working with the energies, that's your superpower. And I've shared that before. Your superpower is your consciousness. Chris wrote, bless and thank you very much for holding this beautiful divine space and for choosing to bring through from your own heart and link with spirit this amazingly powerful and insight live that has been felt and received on so many levels. This felt so good today. With much love and gratitude, thank you. Such an awesome voicing and breakdown of all cover that makes perfect freaking sense in the human wow. You are so welcome, Chris, and I feel so blessed for all of you to be here. We're not alone anymore. And any feelings of alone and loneliness you feel them. Embrace it and release it. Then you're done. And then when it comes again, feel it. You may be feeling waves coming through humanity from others, okay? Okay, shivers resonating, lovely galactic and earth dragons are present with us. As a dragon mother, absolutely. Really good sights into the empath. So much love to you. I really look forward to those of you guided to join 144 gathering number 7 on the 9th of July. Registration is asked, and what will happen, those of you that choose to come into private Zoom with me, we will then broadcast. You will receive such a humanity, collective, global healing by being in that space as we broadcast to humanity. It is an opportunity for those souls who are guided to receive a higher upgrade. Registration is required, and I will be sharing more about that soon. I'm just tuning into spirit to see if there's anything else. Dragons are humming and buzzing, clearing blue and green earth dragons. So what you do is when you walk, you call on the blue and green earth dragons to be under your feet, clearing the energies of the planet as you walk. Okay, I will go. There's so much happening and I need to close this energy off. Again, I will ask where I'm guided, where to go from here. Okay, so what's happening now is all the energies are releasing off your energy chakra centers right now. So what we do is bring up golden energy flowing through front and back of each of your energy centers, and you're seeing little dark flecks releasing. These are the invisible flecks that have been there, and you just needed this powerful upgrade to shed light to them and feel it like clear water pushing up an older water with all flecks of dirt in it. Clear water, clear water, clear water, clear water in your beautiful new egg space. Remember, we are newly creating. The focus is on you, on the inside, not on the outside. Unconditional love, starting with yourself. What are you whispering to yourself? Be kind to yourself and be your own best friend. I love you so much, everyone. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go pack and head off for a few days and keep processing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless. So much love, everyone. Thank you. 108. Bless. Bye.